Good afternoon, this is Malkazar returning with another installment into the Final Fantasy XIV story playthrough. Last we played, we finished the Stormblood main story quest, defeated Shinryu, and as a result, Xenos. And now we are in the post-Stormblood pre-Shadowbringers bridge quests, and we have access to this new dungeon called the Drowned City of Scala. Apparently, one of our scions, as well as one of the resistance, has said, hey, let's go try to find this lost treasure in order to help the people rebuild. So that is exactly what we are doing. Of course, we're starting it off with a queue, which is always exciting. I know there's some events going on too. Maybe I can go down here, like, do some cards while I'm waiting. Yeah, let's do that. Let's also take in, like, there was a giant statue over here, a giant statue over here. This one is still busted, but more intact. There's the other piece of it. I wonder if there's a... Oh, no viewpoint from up there. Strange. I think that'd be a perfect spot for one. Probably is, but they decided not to put one up there. How silly. This wall. I may have to go pick up a retainer and drop some of this stuff off. I'm running out of room. Also go back and turn in a bunch of things for company seals, because running out of room other places as well. Or are you inside of something? Right around the corner. Imperial Deserter. Let's see how we go here. Small talk. He's trying to leave. Alright. Ooh. Fallen Ace. Ooh. A rank 1 side can flip an A. I mean, an A is not a perfect defense. Okay. Well. Let's see how we go here. Getting wrecked. Exactly how it's gonna go. Yeah. Ooh, never mind. How do I cancel? Commence. I'm gonna drop these fast so I can get in. Okay. Oh, okay. So we're still waiting for one more person anyway. Perfect. That is just fine with me. Aww. Gonna go up here? Sometimes it's fun just to explore and see what you get access to. A new dungeon, yes. Flying sea slugs. I like how it's all underwater except for this one spot. We have a red mage and a dancer. They're both ranged. Well, red mage is half range. He jumps in and does stuff. Red mage is actually pretty cool. Moving on, moving on. They hit pretty hard. Oh, the white mage is stunning everybody. Well, I wasted my slow. Ugh, hate when that happens. Throw up some defensive stuff here. They don't hit me as hard. Hydro cannon. Boom. Blastoise. Oh yeah, someone's pulling extras. Appreciate it. Cool. Move on. Giant crystals in here is pretty nice. Arrive at Green Screams and defeat the Kelpie. It's a seahorse. Cool. Okay, well, torpedo is the tank buster. Gotcha. Rise and Sea sits everybody. Pretty easy so far. Don't stand in the bloody puddle. Hydro pull. I want to be on the other side. And finished. Nice. Okay, it's still weaker than what I have. Okay. Wish I had an automatic comparison. I might start getting pieces that actually replace my last gear. Stone Phobat. Looks like tiny demonic walls from that one dungeon. Plain pound as opposed to forest pound. Probably what it means. As opposed to the not so plain pound. Yeah, see, I'm getting upgrades. Like those little rocks go up and down. Little extra floaties. Oh. Thank you for the AoE stun there, White Mage. Well done. Nice, a bunch of dudes. Alright, what's going on here? I kept losing aggro. There was a lot of AoEs going out, and none of them were mine, so that didn't help, but whatever. Second boss already. What is that? The old one. Cthulhu. Not Cthulhu, but the old one, so. No detonation for you. Oh, I'm a Spriggan. So they knew what was going on. I think you have an extra button that shows up that lets you drop traps. Okay, so here's the button. Drop the mine. Oh, okay, so you have to time it. And done. Very nice. Okay. Now I can put that belt on. Nice. Nothing else. Nothing else is a fending item, so I'm not fending anything off. Look at all this treasure. Zhang Beto. That's right, we need to turn into ghosts. Ooh. Kaboom. Transfiguration only lasts for a little bit of time, so I gotta get over here quick. It'll automatically drop, I guess, when we get a certain distance. Yep. Two Zangbetos and a Rotting Royal. Let's see what these guys do. Why is it? Cool. Throw out some actual abilities that have an additional effect to increase enmity to get those guys off of people, because it's kind of silly. Okay, I'll heal my... Oh, there you go. Now you finally healed me. Right as I was about to heal myself, because you weren't healing me in the first place. Awesome. Oh. You guys have hair in the background. What do we have here? Manticore, Chimera. What's this one called? Roderick Poison Tongue. Okay, so one of the family members. Do this. Kill you all. Oh, no AoE indicators there, okay. That one's an indicator though, kaboom. The spin. Death comes for you. Eyes of fire. Away. You'd look away to avoid that one. I got it down just in time. Sometimes you have to read the actual text on the bottom left in order to see what they're going to do. Hey, he raises his tail, so he's gonna smack behind him. Dropped a mine. Raises his claws, so I can get out. I can get out from there. Someone use their LB, or I will. Yeah, the past few times I'm not doing any cheers. Got one commendation. That's pretty nice. Better than nothing. All right. Now let's get back to the actual story we're here. Oh, that's right. They found another way in. Or they were looking for another way in. Dead.
Are you all right?
Voice acting. Yay.
Aye. Everything's still attached. It seems both our paths led here. Very good. We spent altogether too much time fleeing fiends horrid and numerous. How fared you?
I didn't flee anything. I killed them all. Because I'm awesome.
Much the same then. 'Twould appear this place is yet inhabited by King Theodoric's kin, or what is left of them. The work of terrible magics, I fear.
Terrible, aye. But their misfortune is our fortune?
Quite. By the 12, there is even more than I imagined.
Oh, I can't wait to see the look on Lisa's face. Thanks for believing in me, you two.
What's your face too? Arrenbald and I forged ahead at the fastest pace we could manage, but I was not surprised to find you waiting for us. I suppose this serves us right for challenging the Warrior of Light. Next time, we should agree on some manner of handicap. We may have lost Alphino, but think of what we found. Wait, I'm still reeling at the sight of the Mountain of Riches. What? Like how you reeled at the sight of that floating specter, you mean? You should have heard him scream, Malkazar. Must be done such momentary lapses. We found the Mad King's trove, and that was all that matters. Ooh, music. All jesting aside, we must tell people the good news, and I think Lee should be the first. Seconded. There is to be a meeting of representatives from across Alamigo. She is sure to be in the city. We seek her out? Okay, yes. Seek her out. I mean, you mean go straight over here to where the map's pointing? Voice acting? The voice acted the last thing, so I wouldn't doubt it. Dang it. Oh, you three look pleased with yourselves. What have you been up to? Glad you asked, Lise. I'm pretty sure you're gonna like the answer. Hey, explain. Explain. You're joking. The Mad King's Trove? I thought it was a myth. So did plenty of people, but they didn't have Malkazar and Alphino in their party. The credit for finding it should really go to them. As for what to do with it, I vote that it go towards alleviating the suffering of Alamigo's poor. Gods, if there's as much as you say. Arenvald did not exaggerate, I assure you. We cannot hope to carry even a fraction of it out on our own. I've taken the liberty of sketching out a rough map of the ruins. If you'll assemble a squad of your most trusted freedom fighters, they should be able to follow the route to where the treasure lies. Sketching a map, he's cartographer now. Understood. I'll make sure every coin is accounted for, and that goes for the spending of it as well. Thank you. Oh, there's one other thing. When the time comes to drop a plan for distributing the spoils, I would ask that you consult Alphino. I don't have a head for details. I'm not educated. I see that simply handing out sacks of gil won't solve everything, but I couldn't really tell you what to do instead. Oh, I know the feeling. I'd welcome any advice you can give us, Alphino. Of course, I should be at your disposal. Amanda, we've got a problem. Deep breaths, tell me what's happened. Mom's gathered outside headquarters, and they started making demands. You best come and see yourself. I'll be coming after Fordola. She's still alive.
Step back, all of you!
Like hells we will! We know who you've got in there!
Mm-hmm.
We're not leaving till you hand her over!
Bring her out! Bring her out!
What's going on? Someone let slip about Fordola.
It's true then! The bitch really is in there! I knew it! I bloody knew it! We demand vengeance! Bring her out! Today we butcher the butcher!
Come on, you don't mean that! We'd be no better than the Imperials if you'd all just calm down! Calm down! That monster and her thrice-damned skulls dragged my man from our home and beat him to death in the street!
Aye, and my dad! That bitch has spilt enough blood to fill a lock!
Man, they're all incensed.
You know her crimes.
Let's swear it up.
And a murderer. Many of your resistance friends have died at her hands, eh? And here you are, protecting her! So that's what all the fuss is about. Hearken to me, brothers and sisters of Alamigo.
I'm Ralban. They'll listen to me.
That's the Bull of Alamigo.
My friends, you are not alone in your anger, your grief, your despair, for it is mine as well. That gnawing pain in your breast, it is enough to bring an old bull to his knees. But I ask you, brothers and sisters, to think not only of the family and friends who were cut down before your very eyes, but to think also of the ones who were abducted, the ones who may yet live. Where were they taken? What became of them? These questions demand answers. I share your thirst for justice, for vengeance.
There's people in the background just having a regular conversation.
Fleeting satisfaction if we give in to our base appetites. We will never know the truth. Now is the time that we, the people of Alamigo, must decide what manner of nation we will build for ourselves and for generations yet unborn. Look to our example. Will they see a people who held fast to their principles? or one who cast them aside when tried. I say to you, it is our responsibility to give these prisoners a fair trial, that they might answer to all of Alamigo. The Garleans called us savages, and I'll be damned if we prove them right.
Slow clap.
I know you're right, I do, but I can't.
I'm gonna nod at you for no reason. There was a mob. My thanks, Raban. Listening to their anger, I could feel myself being swept away. It was a difficult tide to stem. 'Twas the same rage which brought us to our feet and carried us to victory. But now the war is over, all the unspent fury is being channeled into vengeance. Aye, it's not just here. We have reports of mobs forming all over. They've been targeting folk known to have cooperated with the Garleans. It starts with insults most often, then someone picks up a stone. Some industrious souls even thought to seek out the graves of Xenos and his officers. It was grim. I want to build a country where everyone, regardless of race or origin, can live side by side in peace. But maybe the time isn't right. Maybe people just aren't ready. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. The representatives will be here soon, and I'll be damned if I'm going to give up before I've even begun. Who are these representatives exactly? Village elders, refugee leaders, and the like. It wouldn't be right for us to dictate the nation's future on our own, so we planned a summit of sorts. We've even invited the Inata and the Kikern to participate. Alamigo stands at a crossroads, and this meeting will decide which path it takes. The matter of Fordella's sentence cannot be suffered to disrupt proceedings. Then let us execute her and be done with it. You yourself has to be put to death. I'll go. I already explained why we wouldn't do that. Sending her to the gallows might satisfy people right now, but where would it end? Should we round up everyone who collaborated, and everyone who didn't resist? There would be no one left, and we'd be no better than Theodoric and Xenos. Begging your pardon, but might I be allowed to speak with Fordella? I caught a glimpse of her past, a moment of them anyway, during the fight. She's done terrible things, unforgivable things, but in some ways, she's a victim of the circumstances in which she was born, and that's something I can understand. Alright, speak with the prison guard when you're ready, and I'll come and join you. I want to talk to her too. I'll return to my other duties then. We've barely begun to investigate the facility where they gave Fordola her powers. Be fairly warned, friends, she will test you. Don't let your emotions color your judgment when she does. Yeah. And then Lisa over here, like one of the more emotional characters, would be like, okay, I won't let it bother me. Let's get in there and talk to her. It's a pretty big cell.
Well, well, well. So many visitors. Come to have a good laugh, have you? Or do you mean to put me out of my misery? To finish what you started? It's about bloody time.
That's not why we're here, no. Do you remember what I said? How I promised you you'd live long enough to see us win our freedom? Well, I meant it. And not to mock you either.
You're wasting your time. All of this is pointless! There's no reason to keep me alive, and you know it! I killed your men. I killed my men. And you know what my only regret is? That I didn't kill you when I had the chance!
That's a lie, and you know it! You think we can't tell what you're trying to do? That we're blind? Yeah, you're a fool, but you're not stupid. You're ruthless. Relentless. You'd give up anything and everything to get what you want. You didn't come this far, climbing over the bodies of your own brothers and sisters just to piss it all away. I see you, Fadola. I see you for what you are.
Echo time.
Come along, Fadola. We mustn't be late. The Imperial Viceroy will be attending today's banquet.
All right! Father, what's Lord Gaius like? Is he nice? Are you friends?
There you go again with all your questions. Lord Gaius is a great and honourable man who looks after all of Alameda. He's very busy, and if we don't hurry, we'll miss our chance to see him.
Filthy tin-head lovers.
Father, what did that man call us?
The little tin-head lover doesn't know what she is, eh? A traitor, sweetheart. A backstabbing bitch who'd gladly betray her kith and kin to gnaw on what few scraps the Imperials deign to toss her. Like your bastard father and whore mother.
I would have stopped him if he was talking like that to my kid.
That's not true! My parents are good people! They've never done anything like that!
Oh, but they were quick to help themselves and their bitch spawn, weren't they? You're just as guilty as them.
They're just throwing out all the swear words now. Count 4 so far. The same one, but still.
Fadola! Traitors!
Please, you have to do something. My husband and daughter are in danger.
Soldiers of the Imperial Army are under no obligation to intervene in the disputes of arms.
citizens. We have rights.
You can if you want to, but you're not under obligation to do so.
I'm scared.
It's all right. It's all right. They don't understand, but they'll see in time. They'll see that this is the only way to survive. Traitor!
They have unlimited rocks.
Traitors!
Got wrecked.
Let the savages have their fun. They'll be more compliant once they've tired themselves out.
Fadola, please. You already have citizenship. Why would you want to become a soldier? Oh, gods. What have you done to your face?
Forgotten it already, have you? I'm honoring Father's memory.
By telling the world that you know better than a common savage.
Am I though, Mother? Are any of us? Can't you see? Citizenship means nothing to them. If you're not a pure-blood Garlean, you're no different from any other savage. So I'll play the part. I'll join the Legion and I'll make them respect me. And when the mob see that, they'll think twice before throwing their stones. Ansfrid, Rudolph, Emlyn. It's time. It'll be hard. Humiliating. They'll try to break us. Send us crawling back to our own kind. But we won't, no matter what. We'll bleed for them, die for them if we have to. We'll do whatever it takes to be free!
So, you mean to play the part one last time, eh? The unrepentant traitor whose death will serve to unite the people?
Shut up.
You had every chance to kill yourself. Fashion a noose from your clothes. Wait for the guards to leave you alone long enough to slip it over your neck.
I said shut up!
Oh, but then it would have all been for nothing, wouldn't it? Whatever it takes. That's what you said.
I smacked my microphone.
Ahead, have you? Had a little peek at my past. And what? A few stolen memories tell you everything you need to know, do they? Don't you dare patronize me! You don't know a god's damned thing about the life I've led! The bastards that killed him. The bastards that let it happen. My father deserved better! I swore I'd do whatever it took to make them pay!
Well, you got into my head now.
You. All that power. All that pain. It's too much. Too much for anyone. The things they've done to you. The lies. The betrayal. The endless fighting. Yet there you stand. Unbroken. How? Why?
You know why. You saw.
Damn you. Damn you all.
You still have time, Fordola. Think about how you want to spend it. Let's go.
She saw my past and realized that she could have done it differently if she was just the warrior of light. Just far enough, thanks. I don't know that we solved anything exactly, but we've given Fordola something to think about at least. Aye, we found something new to think about too. I don't know about you, Malgazer, but the visions only came to me every now and then. And the way Fordola kept wincing, though, I get the feeling she's having them almost all the time. That's a lot of bad memories to deal with. I wonder. Could there be some fundamental difference between one who is born with the Echo and one who has been artificially imbued with it? Well, the Immortal Flames have been scouring that research facility ever since the liberation. There's a chance they might have some answers for us. General Alden's there overseeing the investigation. Let's go and pay him a visit, shall we? Let's pay everyone a visit. There we go. Let's go to Raubon. What news? You spoke with Fordola, I take it? Yes, as expected, she didn't say very much, but it wasn't a total waste of time. Ehrenwald noticed something odd about her. He thinks she might be having visions almost constantly, which is not how the Echo normally works. Have you found anything here which might explain why it's so different for her? We've been hard-pressed just to organize the research materials, let alone study them. To be frank, I'd welcome the science expert assistance, if you have time to lend a hand. Let's go look. Oh, let's talk to the Flame Investigator first. So many bodies. There are a lot. Every one of them a victim of these experiments. Few show any signs of external injury. From what I've been able to determine, they perished from forcible aether extraction. Such a miserable way to die. The device in which Cryo was held seems even more ominous now you know its purpose. The surrounding pods are marked Supply Subject, while this one bears the label Master Subject. The Ironworks received a request from the Alliance to analyze these devices, and I've been recording everything of interest. Did you notice the labeling? All the pods are designed to drain the ether of the occupant, save that one right there. Unlike the others, the interior has been fitted with an array of sensors to measure etheric waveforms. To what purpose, however, I couldn't tell you. Oh, the music went away. I know a little and less of science, so any light you can shed on this facility's operations would be much appreciated. Alcazar, shall we start with you? Explain. Taken in combination with the testimonies of Cryo and Thancred, I do begin to see exactly what the Imperials were attempting here. The enhancement procedure entailed infusing a single candidate with ether siphoned from a multitude of supply subjects. As for the master subject, in this case Cryo, the patterns of her etheric activity would provide the model upon which they could artificially engineer the candidate's aura. In other words, they were trying to recreate Cryo's echo. I believe so, which would explain our prisoner's present state. Cryo is possessed of unrivaled ability to hear the whispers of the soul, and it seems probable that the procedure engendered the same acute sensitivity in Fordola. The soldiers who guarded Fordola, many of them lost friends and family to the skulls. And there's a sentry at her door, night and day. If she can't help sensing their thoughts and seeing their past. But you don't just see their past, you live it, all the emotions, all the pain. Imagine what it'd do to you. You'd never be the same again. Indeed, as you may recall, Isael was completely transformed by a single glimpse of Hraesvelgr's past. Fordola has been forced to experience the agony of those whose lives she destroyed. The guilt must be unbearable. That explains her request to be executed. Sounds to me like a kind of justice. Regardless, she can suffer on for now. We have more pressing matters to consider. If the results of these experiments have been relayed back to Garlemald, there will be naught to stop the Empire from repeating the trick. They can give the echo to anyone, to an entire legion. We must be ready. We must learn all we can of these godforsaken procedures, and Fordola remains our best source of information. She'll not be getting her wish. Not yet. Right. Keep faith, lass. If we're to convince others to follow you, you must believe what you're telling them. People will respond to passion, but not if it's feigned. I understand. Thank you, General. We should leave the flames to it. Let's go. I'm looking for answers about the Echo and end up getting schooled by Rabban. Yet more evidence that I don't know what I'm doing. It's no wonder people listen to him and not me. General Alden is a veteran of countless campaigns, Lise. You cannot compare yourself to a commander of his experience. I know, but I also know that I couldn't have convinced that mom to give up and go home. It makes me realize how much we rely on his authority, and how much I still have yet to learn. I wonder what he'll do when everything here is settled. I mean, it's his homeland. After going to the trouble of winning it back, might he not want to stay? There's a quandary which countless refugees now face. To continue the life they built in Ul'dah, or start again in the land of their birth. Alcazar, a moment. It's Pippin! What, dude? I am newly returned from Ul'dah with a message from the Sultana. Her Grace desires an audience with you. He understands that you have responsibilities here, but asks that you visit the palace at your earliest convenience. Okay. Well, I must away and attend to other business. Until next time, for my friends. An audience with the Sultana. Depending on the nature of her consultation, this might be a perfect opportunity to inquire about the General's future plans. Yes, we'd all like to know about those, Alphino, but not everyone's as comfortable interrogating royalty as you. Take no notice of him, Alcazar. Let's just interrogate everybody, Alphino. Why not? Well, the question of how to put the Mad King's treasures to good use shows no signs of answering itself. Shall we be about it, Arenvald? I am at your beck and call. I should be getting back to my own tasks. I'll organize a squad to head down to the ruins and start preparing for the big meeting. Oh, send Nanamo my regards, Malcazar. And ours too, if you please. Shall see you on your return. All these loose ends. Nice to have all that mapped out. Finally, Gearbania, everything. And of course, Far East as well. Norvrant, I think, is the Shadowbringers stuff, so I've never been there. We are not quickly approaching, but we're getting to the point where I stopped playing last time, so we're going to be getting some new stuff that I've never even seen myself. Chamber of Rule. Oh, I can speak. I think I clicked the wrong one. Yep. There we go. Jeez, how difficult was that? Phew. Huh. He's talking to me about the tournament. It is an honor to face you in the tournament. Since the day I've spent every spare moment at the practice yard striving to attain some fraction of your skill with the blade. Here for the audience of Sultana. Proceed. Okay. I don't know if that was the Paladin tournament or something else. The one from Heavensward.
I thank you for answering my summons in these most interesting times. You have been busy. The liberation of Alamigo will have far-reaching consequences, and there is a matter upon which I would seek your counsel. I speak of Rauban and his future. All know the tale of his rise from penniless refugee to member of the Syndicate and General of the Immortal Flames. Yet though he has come to call Ul'dah home, it will never be his homeland. He is a son of Alamigo. And now that she is free, I thought it only a matter of time before he sought my leave to return to her. Indeed, I had resigned myself to his loss. Suffice it to say, I was greatly surprised to hear him speak so lightly of handing over the reins in Alamigo and retaking his place at my side.
I will welcome him with open arms, of course. He is my most trusted advisor and my dearest friend. But I have known the man a long time, and beneath that steely gaze, I spied a flicker of doubt. Whether Raubon chooses to remain in Uldar or return to Alamigo, I only wish that he do so with a heart unburdened by guilt or regret. Yet, how can he freely make such a choice, knowing how much I depend on him? It is past time that I learned to discharge my duties as a sultana alone. I must go forth and see my realm with my own eyes, and hear the wind with my own ears. Might I have your company for a brief adventure? Wonderful. Allow me
Let's do it.
to change into something a touch less conspicuous, and I will join you outside.
Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Outside the quicksand, so that's the Adventurers Guild. Yes. Perchance you remember Lilira, the merchant's daughter? I was back when I was like level 5. This is the persona I assume when I venture beyond the palace walls to observe my subjects unnoticed. Ordinarily, Papa Shan would accompany me, but for this particular outing, I needed an advisor, not a minder. And that is why I requested your company. Over the course of your many adventures, I have met you have met people from all walks of life in every corner of Eorzea, and I would make use of your worldly experience. Now let us be on our way. The first destination is Stone's Throw, just beyond the Gate of Nald. Will this one take me to Stone's Throw? Nope, nope, nope. Didn't even carry on my momentum and stopped moving before I jumped. Dang it. Oh, it's right over here anyway. Yeah. Look upon this procession of tattered tents. These refugees camp in squalor, at the mercy of the elements and Thanalan's predators both. The city's mighty walls offer safety, but the streets overflow with people as it is. And unless blessed by the hand of Nald himself, no refugee could ever hope to afford a dwelling in Uldar. 20 years have passed since the fall of Alamigo, and 5 since the calamity, yet the plight of the poor has grown more desperate, not less. As Sultana, the blame falls upon me. Her hands have been tied. Yeah. Yes, my authority is limited, and that is an obstacle I must work to overcome. Shall I press on? I would follow the road to the unholy air. Take me go around, I guess. It was here, in this wholly unremarkable place, that my mother and father met their doom. I was but a child at the time. My parents were returning from an inspection of our interests in eastern Thanalan when an untimely rockslide crushed their carriage. To this day, it is not certain if the incident was simple misfortune or an expertly planned assassination. Raubon once offered to reopen the investigation and bring me the truth he assumed I must surely crave, but I refused. Even if my parents' deaths were orchestrated by the monitorists, we could only have brought their hirelings to justice. The true villains, those who plotted to put me on the throne as a biddable puppet, were ever beyond our reach. Thus did I plan to strip the merchants of their power and place our nation in the hands of its citizens, quite unaware of the consequences my actions would have for you and yours. I shudder to think how many goodly souls paid the price of my naivety. But I am no longer a child reciting words with witless obedience, and I will not be used as a pawn in the monetarist damnable games. Forgive me my outburst. You're one of the few people to whom I feel I can speak my mind. Come, let us return to Ul'dah and visit the Colosseum. I'll just fly. You know, like, both of those conversations could have been an email. Ul'dah. I can't fly in town. I know I say that all the time, but seriously. Colosseum, so I need to go to the Gladiators Guild. There it is. From the moment I became Sultana, I found myself thrust into an endless parade of document signing and ceremonies. For years, I simply signed where I was told to sign, and sat where I was told to sit, blissfully oblivious to what any of it meant. Yet one good thing did come from the ignominious chapter in my life, for it was during an official visit to the Colosseum that I first met Raoban. The match I had been invited to attend was not all what I expected. They had pitted the Bull of Alamigo against some dozen or so rival gladiators. Blinkered though I was, I would not stand for so obvious an injustice and demanded to see a fair fight, one man against another, and my royal wish was duly granted. It was not until later that I learned of the gambling ring which had arranged for Raoban to die in the sands that day. Regardless, my intervention meant that Raoban had but a single opponent to dispatch, which he duly did, and when he knelt before me to receive the winner's purse, he swore that he would one day offer me his blade in service. Surrounded as I was by liars and manipulators, I confess I dismissed it as a pleasant piece of theater. But as you know, Raoban is a man of his word. Though it took him another 5 years of fighting the blood sands, he amassed a fortune so great as to buy not only his freedom, but a seat on the syndicate. And then I had my then I had my blade. This feels like filler. There's some odd stuff going on to the sound there for a second. It's weird to see him with both arms.
Your Grace, you mustn't! The danger is too great! Please, Your Grace, have
They can't even keep up with her. Ah.
Seems you're the one who needs looking after, Master Shum. Raban!
Your Grace. I have kept the promise made.
So you have, and in turn, so too shall I keep mine. With your winnings, you have become one of the 6 most wealthy souls in all Uldar, and so, as tradition dictates, Rauben Aldin, you have earned yourself a seat on the Syndicate. May your new station garner you still greater glories.
I am honored, Your Grace, and vow to serve with every fiber of my being from this day till my last.
As wise and as powerful as she is, what kind of bothers me that she acts like a child sometimes. Well, I guess she was a lot younger here, but that doesn't mean much, I guess. Words cannot well express what that man means to me. There are others who care deeply for my well-being, of course. Papa Shan's love for me is that of a grandsire for his grandchild. But upon matters of governance, I cannot turn to bodyguards and maidservants for counsel. Raban, with the authority of a syndicate position, was the first sword I could wield. His was the only edge which could cut the strings that bound me. We must make haste. My absence will not go unnoticed by the Sultan's Horn for long, and there are other places I would visit. To the Arzaneth Ossuary. Which is that one? Is that where the thaumaturge is? Is that where they are? The ones who make the laws, the thaumaturges. Come on. Yep. That was exactly it. Okay, I did butter toast. When the calamity threatened, Raban led the Alliance forces into battle on the plains of Cartano, and I remained here. I prayed with all my heart that Archon Louis Sois would have the power to rouse the 12. Since that day, I have made a custom of visiting this shrine during each of my little excursions. Here I seek the blessing of Thal, reflect upon my choices, and ask myself if I am fulfilling my duties as Sultana. You are rightly celebrated as a champion because you have led the line in 100 battles for the good of Eorzea. In much the same way, I believe the measure of a monarch lies in how she leads her people in times of adversity. If I am to be a Sultana worthy of the name, I cannot turn a blind eye to the troubles facing Ul'dah. I have chosen my path, Malgazer. With Ala Mhigo now free from imperial chains, I finally see a way to aid the refugees. Sweet. Already, many displaced Ala Mhigans seek to begin the long trek home. To facilitate that process, I made a small contribution, an artisan school in Ralga's Reach for any who wish to learn new trades. Realistically, however, it will take years for such training to yield tangible benefits. But we do not have years. These people will need shelter and employment if they are to survive, and this time the Ul'dah Treasury shall provide. Precisely where and how to allocate the necessary funds is, of course, another question. Why not seek the advice of one who employs refugees? A wise suggestion. Mayhap a visit to the Golden Saucer is in order. Its proprietor is a member of the Syndicate, and he is one of the few who pay refugees a fair wage. I wonder, are you acquainted with Godbert Manderville? Nope. Well, he is a most generous man, if something of an eccentric. Let us make our way to the landing, and I will see the word is sent to the Golden Saucer. Godbert should be only too glad to receive us. Yeah, I didn't do the Manderville quest yet. There's just a bunch of side quests that are just ridiculous and silly. They're funny, though. Bum 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 bum. I have ridden aboard a public airship before, but this should be my first visit to the Golden Saucer. I must confess to some excitement. Oh, no. Alright, how much does it cost to teleport? 79. That's not bad at all. I'll just do that. Bum, bum, bum. I've heard descriptions of its splendor, yet I never dreamed it would be so bright and inviting. I couldn't possibly. We did not come here to fritter away the royal coin. Robert will be expecting us. Come, let us head directly to the lounge and ignore these gaudy temptations. I can give you some MGP if you want to play a little bit. Dang. I believe this is where we are to meet Lord Manderville. Shall we sit while we wait his coming? My apologies, Your Grace. I have kept you waiting. No apologies are necessary, Godbert. My request was sudden, and you were kind to make yourself available at such short notice. Pleasantries. When the Sultana herself comes calling, there is no more important engagement. As to the purpose of my visit, I would have your thoughts on how the Crown might best aid the refugees residing in Thanalan. You are aware, I am sure, that many of Alamigo's displaced sons and daughters long to return to the newly liberated homeland. You are also aware of how they will suffer without shelter and work to sustain them. I would use our nation's wealth to spare them that suffering. What advice have you for me in the matter of how it might be best distributed? The unusual circumstances of our meeting and your Grace's choice of companion will suggest to me a desire for an honest and unvarnished opinion. I shall give you one. My advice to you is stop. Taxing Ul'dah's wealth to save Alamigan refugees is a terrible, terrible idea. You oppose my proposition? Most emphatically. I agree with your Grace that the refugees must have housing and employment. What profit is there for Ul'dah in this arrangement? Profit? After all we have done for Gigarbani is displaced, I thought you the very last person to seek to benefit from their misfortune. Forgive me, Your Grace, but you appear to be laboring under a misapprehension. It is a fine endeavor to support one's fellow man. I fear, however, that your stance is one born of pity. Your intent is to save the refugees, is it not? For all our potential, we are indolent creatures by nature. If unconditional charity is all we know, then we begin to rely upon it. We expect it. And then we must consider Ul'dah's own poor and downtrodden. For they hear of you spending the nation's coin, not to improve their lot, but to nurture the distant citizens of Alamigo, it is unlikely they will applaud your generosity. Surely it is not your Grace's intention to foster new resentments, but to spread goodwill. Indeed, that any support I pledge to the refugees must promote self-sufficiency, whilst also serving the interests of the people of Ul'dah. Exactly so. Such an arrangement will create a far more equitable relationship with the returning Alamigans, even as it generates the revenue required to win the approval of your subjects. You have given me much to ponder, Lord Manderville. I thank you for your candor. Aw, smiles. I wonder how they're gonna do it. I think I remember, but it's been a while. Come on. Come on. There we go, dang. Prophet, the thought never even crossed my mind. But standing about lamenting my naivety will not do anyone any good. I shall consider my lesson learned and press on. Algazar, are you perchance acquainted with any successful merchants? If my attempt at philanthropy is obliged to reap a profit, it would seem wise to consult someone with a knack for business. Dr. Lola Rito. Ordinarily, I would not trust any agent of the East Aldenard Trading Company, but if you hold this Hancock fellow in high esteem, I am content to be led by you. You may repay my faith by journeying to distant Kudagane and speaking with him on my behalf. Eager though I am to visit those shores, I have not the leisure for a lengthy sea voyage. Now, assuming you will travel as adventurers are wont to do, I shall await your report by the Ithray and Ulda. A fair journey to you, Malgazer, and a swift one, if you please. I think the last time I was here, let's check this real quick. I actually did the cackpot. It's been so long, I'm probably not going to get anything because I think there's a time limit on how long you can actually come back for the jumbo cackpot. Yep, it was too long. Okay, so we're going to go to Kugane. Alright, sorry, I was checking on something. Alright, well, the music disappeared for a second. Hup. Right where I'm going. That's not where I wanted to go. Oops. The Ruby Bazaar, not the Ruby Price. Got those mixed up. It was an honest mistake, I swear. Oh. More dungeons that I'm not going to do yet. You're just standing here the whole time. Alcazar, to what do I owe the pleasure? Are you here in business? Lynn, I beg your pardon. Your Grace's Osana would have my opinion how to best invest the wealth of Ulda? My dear Malgazer, I have you to thank for this recognition, I am sure. I am flattered that you came to me, truly flattered. But why sell for a lowly apprentice when you can have the master? Upon matters of profit, there is no living soul better qualified to advise Her Grace than Chairman Lolarito, a man whose morning exertions are said to fill his garderobe with gold. I should be happy to arrange a meeting for you, say at the Science former headquarters in Thanalan. The Waking Sands would seem a suitably neutral venue for negotiations, don't you think? Very well, Malkazer, and may your dealings prove fruitful. A whole 1,000 gil to get back. It is all the way across the world, but dang. How'd you know it's coming back? Gonna stand there for days? Welcome back, Malkazar. Did your merchant friend have any useful advice to share? He said to talk to Lolorito. She'd be like, no! With Lolorito, and you agreed to this? I'm well aware of his standing in the field of business, but I had hoped to keep the Monitorist at arm's length, and him in particular. Nay, I cannot live in fear of the man. I must learn how to treat with him if I am to rule Ul'dah effectively. Very well, I will meet with Lolorito. Let us go on ahead to Waking Sands and prepare for his coming. Will it teleport me? Bum, 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 bum. It did. Very nice. So this is where the Science First congregated. I've heard many tales, but never had the occasion to visit. Work then. The hour of the meeting draws near, and I would gather my thoughts. Pray see to it that we have the appointed room to ourselves. Or I can just start the thing right now.
A personal summons from the Scions. This must be important business indeed. Though, if it concerns anything so underhand as an assassination, I fear I can be of little help.
Have a seat. He already knows who it is, I bet.
You have made your point. 'Tis indeed unsettling to find oneself seated across from an impassive mask. There, would this better please your grace? Or should I address you as Lady Lilira?
Nay, the deception has served its purpose. I'm glad to see you found amusement in my little jest, Lord Lolorito, but shall we proceed to the business at hand?
By all means. I must say I am most eager to hear your proposal.
Simply put, I would aid the refugees camped in Thanalan in their efforts to return to Alamigo. The reparations you paid in the wake of your earlier misdemeanors will be used to fund the endeavor, together with the fortune seized from the late Teleji Adeleji's estate. But this plan is not intended to benefit the displaced alone. I would make of this an investment which shall enrich Ul'dah and Alamigo both. And who better to consult on matters of profit than the wealthiest man in all of Thanalan? I beseech you then, Lord Lolorito, share with us your mercantile wisdom.
Twould seem your grace has matured beyond acts of earnest yet misplaced charity. Pray tell me more.
Explain, explain. Explain, explain, explain. And I'm here. I'm just huge.
To summarize, in return for facilitating the repatriation of refugees and assisting in the establishment of new industry in Alamigo, you ask that a proportion of all subsequent profits be promised to Ul'dah. Ha! I am impressed, Your Grace. 'Tis an elegant solution, albeit one lacking certain crucial details, specifically which industry and where.
How swiftly you identified the weakness in my plan, just as I knew you would. Your travels have taken you across the length and breadth of Gir Abania, and you know the land far better than I. Which of the settlements you visited would best provide a home for our refugees? Which has the greatest potential to flourish, given the appropriate investment?
I think I remember the answer. Saltery.
Ah, yes, that desolate little village on the shore of Loch Seld. I know the Saltery and its products well. The Imperial invasion brought an end to their more widespread distribution, much to the dismay of many a wealthy gourmand, myself included. Salt has ever been a transformative ingredient, and in this instance, I dare say, it could transform a modicum of effort into a mountain of gill.
The local citizens will need to be consulted, of course, but I trust the East Aldenar Trading Company can be relied upon to provide its assistance in negotiating a mutually beneficial arrangement.
Naturally, Your Grace. I shall dispatch representatives well-versed in the extraction of this gold and wring every last ounce of profit from its production. The Loch's bounty will contribute to Alamigo's enrichment, whilst easing the burden on the bull's aching shoulders, just as Your Grace desired.
A deal is struck then.
Yeah, but you still haven't talked to Alamigo. What if they say no? Look at this wall. I fear it will be many years before I feel comfortable taking part in such negotiations. But I shall not complain. We have piqued Lolorito's interest and secured his invaluable expertise. Thank you, Malcazar. I could not have done it without you. Our course is decided. I shall return to the palace and have my ministers begin working on implementing the particulars of the plan. If I can prevail upon you one more time, Malcazar, I would ask that you convey the details of our negotiations to Commander Hext on your return to Alamigo. I'll talk to Lise. My thanks again. Together we have laid the groundwork for an endeavor which promises to benefit the peoples of Alamigo and Ul'dah both. These teleports are so expensive. But I'm not going to spend hours just taking chocobo porters. Monkey fingers, nice. Alcazar, you're back. What did Nanamo... Oh, sorry. Are you allowed to talk about your audience with the Sultana? Explain. Salvarabon says he's going to return to Ul'dah, but she isn't sure he wants to. That's something we don't know, but I'm pleased to hear she's committed to helping our refugees come home. And this plan to revitalize the Saltery does make a lot of sense. Quite how you convinced her to seek Lolorito's help was another question. After all that has happened, he is the very last person I would expect her to return to for advice. But on a more practical note, Lise, assuming the interim government elects to accept Ul'dah's proposal, I have one caveat I should like you to include in the bargain. Alamigo must be permitted to cover a portion of the investment. We have a fortune at our disposal, after all, and allowing Ul'dah to provide the entirety of the capital will afford Lolorito too much control. Smart. Honestly, Alphino, it's like Kugana never happened. What exactly does ruthless puppeteer have to do to earn your trust? But yes, you do make a good point. First things first, though, we need to discuss this proposal with the Saltery's residents. Whisker, how do you fancy explaining the Sultana's plan to your grandfather? I'd like to hear what Watt thinks of the idea before agreeing to anything. Right away, Commander. Would you mind coming along, Malcazar? I might need you to fill in the details. And that shall come as well. Should Watt wish to discuss figures, my knowledge of the nation's finances may prove useful. Feels like it keeps messing up. Oh. Bum. Oh, he's actually at the Saltery, not at the monastery like he was last time. Boop, 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 right there. I keep looking for the Ixion fate, but I don't know. It's not like I'm farming it or anything, but it would be cool to get that mount. Almost perfect. What manner of mischief brings you youngins to Old Watt this time, eh? They want to rebuild a Saltery, Granddad. Alcazar, tell them about the deal. Explain. Well, bugger me. We've never had the coin or the hands to put the place back to how it was, but it sounds like that's about to change. There's just one small wrinkle in your plan. It doesn't account for all the nasties queuing up to eat anyone who goes near the shore. The king used to send soldiers to call the buggers, but the Imperials weren't about to help the likes of us. Don't worry, Granddad. We'll take care of all that. Commander Hext has been talking about starting up regular patrols, and I'm sure she'd assign me to the lock if I asked. I'd appreciate that, Whisker, my lad, truly I would. So does this mean you've gotten better with that blade of yours? I've been training, but mostly to kill Imperials. You've some experience hunting monsters, don't you, Malcazar? Think you could cast an eye over a few vocal beasts and teach me how to deal with them? Let's not waste any time then. I'll see you by the lock. Get my monster hunter experience over here. Whilst you are busy attending to the local fauna, I shall have Master Watt explain to me exactly what is required to restore the Saltery to its former glory. Good hunting. That's assuming he knows. Alright then, Malcazar. I got a spyglass here you can use to take a closer look at these pests. Once you've got their measure, you can tell me what to do, and we'll see how well I get on. They're just surrounding for yabbies. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out. Target a yabby and inspect it with left click. Okay. How close do I need to get? Is there anything else I need to worry about? Come on. It's just the one thing? Like it's obvious. Give me answers as to how many things I can click on. Well, it's not letting me go anywhere until I figure something else out. We'll go up and down slowly. Okay, so it looks like So there it is. So apparently I tell him about the weak point and he goes and kills it. Here's yeah, but it's protected by hard carapace, but the underside of the head looks soft and vulnerable. Looks like you found a yabby. They say hitting their shells like smacking any rock. Any suggestions? Aim for the soft underside of the head. Vulnerable under the head, are they? Alright then, wish me luck. A little bit of training somebody else to do stuff here. I'm a mentor. And yeah. Thanks, Malkazar. I did just what you told, as you told me, and the wavekin went down like a sack of potatoes. They don't have potatoes here. Let's find something else. I think I can handle the Abbeys now, so we should try something different. What else is out there? Look for a Phobad. I remember that one. It was his eye. The Phobad's hands are large and powerful, but destroying its crystallized core should render the salt golem inanimate. You sense power pulsating from behind its brow. I can sense it from all the way over here. Ugh, a Phobad. How do I defeat one of those? Destroy the core in its brow. It's at its head, is it? I'll try to stab it right between the eyes then. You'd think after killing a number of these, they would stop coming back. But then that would be a Dark Souls 2, and I didn't really enjoy that part of it. It's not easy fighting with the Liberator of Alamigo watching your every move, but I got the job done. Thanks for the ice milkers there. I feel a lot better prepared for my patrols now. Any road, we should head back to the Salter before Granddad starts to worry that I've been snipped into pieces and fed to a Yabby's hatchlings. I've seen you return in one piece. Dealt with those beasties then, did you? I fought them myself, after a bit of instruction from Alcazar here, like. Once I've shared what I've learned with the others, we should have no trouble keeping the shoreline clear. Good lad, a fine young man you become, Whisker. A fine young man indeed. Too often of late to hear tales of folk over in the city, drunk on victory and hungry for revenge, their heads stuck firmly in the past. We need to set our sights on the future. On things which will improve our lot. Things like getting the salt tray ready to welcome our long-lost countrymen. It seems Whisker has the Salter's security well in hand. I, meanwhile, have discussed the next steps with Master Watt and completed my inspection of the site. A little work, the vacant buildings here could be made into very presentable dwellings. Message from General Aldine. Apologies for the interruption, sir, but the General would speak with you at your earliest convenience. Do not feel obliged to wait around on my account. I'll remain here to hammer out the finer details with Watt and act as an intermediary with our business partners in Ul'dah. We should go. General Alden asked that you wait for him by the main gate in Alamigan Quarter. My apologies again, sir. Very well. Let's just fly. I could teleport, probably be faster. Oh, come on. There we go. I hate it when you start moving and it's like, I'm gonna go slow. Inside? Yes, he's inside. Or to spend enough gil today just teleporting around. I think it'd be cheaper the closer I got to it. Perhaps not. Waiting for Raoban.
Apologies for the wait. People are screaming for the butcher's blood again. No sooner have we broken up one mob than another forms. Thankfully, all have been amenable to reason, thus far. But it is no concern of yours. We must speak of the men Arenvald and his comrades apprehended in the peaks.
By their uniforms, the captives were first judged to be Imperial troops. But after further investigation, their true identities came to light. I dare say you remember Yuyuhasi and Laurentius, the fugitives who conspired with Captain Ilberd in the Crystal Brave's betrayal. Very well. It would seem they followed him all the way to the wall. It was they who orchestrated the slaughter of the resistance fighters prior to the Griffin's infernal ritual.
Were it in your hands, how would you punish these men?
Execution is not the answer.
You would spare these animals? Yours is a more merciful brand of justice than mine. In any event, I thank you for your honesty. When the time comes for the Alliance to pass judgment, I'll see that your opinion is heard. Well, that concludes our business here. But there is more I would say. Walk with me. I bear a share of the blame for Ilberd's atrocities. Had I openly supported the cause of Alamigan liberation, he might not have felt driven to do what he did. Things could have been different, and I'm sorry they aren't. But even after all that has happened, my homeland is free. With the Scions and the Alliance at their side, my countrymen have reclaimed what many thought lost forever. Under her new leadership, I have every confidence that Alamigo will emerge from the shadow of the Empire and rise once more to greatness. Which means my work here is done. Soon I will return to Ul'dah and take my place at the Sultana's side.
Father...
I'll not deny there's a part of me that wants to stay. The same part that contemplated renouncing my rank and joining you as a wandering sellsword. But I pledged my blade to Nanamo. I will not betray that oath.
Is this truly what you want, Father?
It is. Ever has my sword been hers to command, and ever shall it remain. Thank you for lending an ear. While the rest are clamoring for me to stay, I trust you'll send me on my way.
All talking about honor and oaths. You should be a paladin. That took longer than I intended, but at least you know where I stand. Now that's settled. Arnvald, what news? We may have a problem, sir. A group of Ananta has arrived at the main gates, and I don't mean the Vera. These are Kalyana, the ones that summoned the Primal. They're insisting they be allowed to attend the council. Lisa's trying to reason with them, but she may need help. An invitation was extended to all the native beast tribes, but we assumed the Kalyana would refuse it out of hand. We best go and see for ourselves. Pippin, take command of our forces and be ready for battle. Algazera, you've dealt with these Kalyana before. I'd have you at my side. Let's go then. Oh, those griffin statues. Malkazer, Rabban, gods, it's good to see you. Ah, the Slayer has come. We have not forgotten how you sinned against the Lady of Bliss, but we did not come here to shed blood. You claim to seek harmony with all who call Garabania home. If this is truly your wish, you will welcome us as envoys of the Ananta. It is our wish, and you are welcome, but we cannot condone the summoning of primals. If you want to enter the palace, I must ask that you first surrender any crystal jewelry. You have my word that it will be returned to you when the meeting is over. We will do as you ask, but you will not have our weapons. We are not so foolish as to place ourselves entirely at the mercy of our tormentors. You mean... I reckon that's the closest we're going to get to a compromise, and we will have people standing guard. Aye, let them keep their swords. We aren't your tormentors. Then we have an agreement. Lead the way to your meeting chamber. Why do I have a feeling we've welcomed a viper into our midst? Ooh, is this a chest of something useful? Oh, level 370 weapon. Don't mind if I do. You know what? There we go. Oh, and it gave me a shield too. Nice. Nice. Okay, so it is giving me better stuff slowly but surely. Okay. This Kalyana Elder's intentions seem at odds with all we know of her tribe. What think you, Malkazer? The The enthralled cannot be trusted. It is said that once a creature has fallen under the sway of a primal, there is no salvation, and I strongly doubt that Kalyana have suddenly broken free of Lakshmi's will. Whatever the truth, I would take no chances. The guard must be strengthened, ideally with people who know a thing or two about primals. Can we rely on the Scions? Yep. I'll round up our comrades and send them to the Almegan quarter. Go on ahead if you'd like, Malgazer. Why, thanks. I'll see you in the palace. We go all the way back down to where I was. Because why not? Malgazer, I brought reinforcements. Arabelle told me the arrival of our unexpected guests, and I agreed that it should be prudent to call upon Y'shtola and Thancred as well. One can never be too careful when dealing with the enthralled. I am not familiar with the Kalyana tribe itself, but Alize's report suggested that they shunned contact with other races. Despised it, in fact, even compared to other Ananta. Indeed, this apparent reversal in attitude is most curious. No one expected a response to our invitation, much less an envoy, and I imagine Lys was forced to make some rather hasty arrangements in order to accommodate them. Speaking of which, how should we deploy ourselves? If the meeting is to be held in the throne room, it would be wise to have eyes both inside and outside the palace. Y'shtola and I can stand guard without, at least with 3 of you to keep watch over proceedings in the throne room itself. Understood. We should join General Aldine inside then. Malgazer, do you know the rear entrance to the palace? It's on the eastern edge of the city at the top of the stairs. The guard there should have been instructed to let us pass. Oh, a shortcut is what you're saying. So to fly all the way back there. It's a little bit better. You were the Scions, eh? Blah, blah, blah. They escorted inside. Never really read those. You never know, they might have something cool to say, though. That's everybody. Yeah, the keycard.
Thank you all for coming. I am Lys Hext, and I speak for the Resistance. Among you are village elders, refugee leaders, envoys from the Ananta and the Kikern. You've come from every corner of Girabania to help decide the future of Alamigo. But before that, I want to ask you a question. What was the first thing you noticed when you came in? For me, it was that empty throne. It has no one to sit on it now. No viceroy, no king. Would any of you like to take their place?
Nope.
Or should someone else sit there? Then let's sit here in a circle, as equals, and I hope, as friends.
Expertly done. Lys has removed monarchy as a choice early in the game and positioned them to consider a joint government. All things considered, I would say events have got off to a fine start.
And that is Alagana's stance on the matter.
Thank you, Ragenfred. Another vote in favor. Next, let's hear from Shanti of the Kaliana. Tell us, how do your people feel about the idea of a republic?
I'm going to stand in the middle.
Wish only that those who dwell within Gir Abania devote themselves to our faith.
There's a trap.
You shall all worship Sri Lakshmi! Lady of bliss, grace us once more with your beauteous visage!
Where were those crystals?
This can't be happening. No crystals were allowed through the door.
We can worry about the how of it later. We need to evacuate these people right now, or the Primal will make thralls of them all.
Everyone run, don't just stand there.
It's up to us.
I'm gonna nod at you, the one who failed. Thanks for the updated sword.
Gods damn it! The guards were already turned. Fools!
His little moonstone carbuncle. He is the coolest ones.
The Kaliana would see us all enthralled.
Then they're going to be sorely disappointed. We have the Warrior of Light and Arenvald to shield us.
Aye, but they can't well defend your guests and attack the Primal, can they? We're stuck on the back foot.
All right, I think I have an idea. Keep these people safe, General. I'll be back as soon as I can.
There were only like 5 of them. You could just destroy them all and move on, but whatever.
Whatever she's about, she'd best make it quick. Come then. Who will be next to die on my steel?
This song. I had to find another copyright claim after I upload this one. Stupid. Alright, ready, Arenvald? How do we fight her without leaving our allies wide open? We can't stay on the back foot forever. Oh, damn it. If I think like that, we've already lost. I have the warrior light at my side. We can do this. Isn't that right, Malkazar? Use the deflect to dissipate aether spheres she releases. Allowing an ally to be enthralled will result in failure. Leaders of Garabania, accept my love, worship my light. We need to enthrall everyone. We have to stop her. Okay. They've done a fine job of blocking our retreat. We must break through. Forget the Primal and focus on the foe before you. Got that one? Cool. Surrender yourselves to me. And give up the freedom we've worked so hard to win? Not likely. Got it? Cool. Do not your mortal bodies tire. Far better to dwell in a dream. Oh yeah? Oh geez. There are too many. We can't stop them all. We have to try, buddy. Nope.
Damn it all! It's only a matter of time before we miss one.
What of it? Do you want to kill this thing or not?
Why? Why did you deny my blessing? You who defy me shall rest in death. They brought you into this world over a mistake I made, and I'll be damned that you taught me with it. What are you doing? These NPCs know what's up. Where did she? Stand your guard. Thanks. I'll cut us a path. Stand ready. You cannot flee my radiance. You will all be my dreamers. We'll lock her down as best we can. The rest of you need to run. Okay, now while the Primal is Lise. I can't run away from this. They need us. Then we stand and fight together. Alphino, the envoys are in your care. Surely you don't mean to. Very well. I shall see our guest to safety. They forsake eternal bliss? Everyone's fighting her now. Why are you two staying? She still has more than enough strength to addle you both. You need more than 3 to best a Primal, and if we let you fall here, then who'll be left to stop her? Pitiful misguided children, lay down your weapons. Lay down your heads. What? I can't move. She's going after Lisa and Ralbon. Clicking time? I've succeeded. Alright, Armball, get in there and help me. Oh, she got that one, nice. Thanks, Malkazera. I'll make sure my steel was worth the efforts. Again and again, you refuse my gift.
You know your soul's way heavy?
Nice work, Fordola. Are you alright, though? This is nothing. Ugh, it's one after another. We have to fight as one. You really need to come into the same one I was in, Arnvald. You happened to target me with that one. I was already stuck back there. I didn't need to use my shield there. He's not even attacking me. I'm not even her main target. Why do you cling to your misery? You're starting to weaken. Don't give up. Behold, my divine brilliance. What in the... Her powers are out of control. I'll shoot us, but you have to finish her off. Quickly, I can't hold her off forever. I'm trying. We're doing like no damage to her. Kill her. You need to kill her now. And she's taking like no damage. What the heck? Hold on, Fordolo. We end this now. For Alamigo. Oh, look at her. Pew pew. Kaboom. Where was that ability? Did monks get that? Or is it only Lise because she's special? And now you've participated in the downing of a primal.
We did it! We beat her!
What was it? Yeah, Fordola. I'm going to take my time doing this because we have time.
What is this?
I'm only gonna say this once. The Ananta just summoned their primal in the throne room. My friends are fighting her, but they need help. They need someone with the echo, and by the gods, I wish I had it, but I don't. I told you before that you still had time, but things have changed. I need your answer now. You can end it like Xenos, or you can fight for Alamigo. Your choice.
And she chose right. What if she ended it? What then? Bueller? Nobody?
Seven hells. It's her. The butcher.
Why do they have to make a spectacle of dropping their sword?
It's done. Take me back to my cell.
You are not forgiven. Not you. You I will never forgive. But I will thank you. For standing against a primal and saving us from servitude. You have my thanks.
You start crying. Yeah. A single tear. Come on. Excuse me. Well fought, Malkazar. Ironball, that was a near thing. Your stand against the Kilyana would have been brief had you not volunteered for guard duty. You'd be enthralled as surely as our sentries were. They must have planned this far in advance. Security is my responsibility, and I know how dangerous primals can be. I should have... Oh, it's my fault. A stupid mistake. Alas, we were all caught unawares. We will take this as a lesson, and watch our own more carefully in the future. Oh, the guards put the crystals in the water. You can be sure that lackeys who smuggled the crystals into the throne room weren't the only thralls in our ranks. The soldier who first spoke up in favor of Kilyana keeping their weapons springs to mind. A primal servant is betrayed by his aura. If you mean to conduct an investigation, I can identify as any others acting under Sri Lakshmi's influence. Thanks, Yashtola. We'd appreciate the help. Speaking of help, I almost fell over when Fordola turned up. What was she even doing there? I asked her to come. Explain, explain. Explain, explain. Well, that explains it then. It's sad, but Ragnfrid was right. Her victims will never forgive her for what she's done. But I don't think Fordola picked up that sword looking for forgiveness. She wanted to fight for her country. If you say the world in which Fordola grew up is part to blame for what she became, then as an Alamegan, I feel responsible for improving that world. We can't ignore what's happening right now. We have to show people a better way than vengeance, or we risk giving birth to a new generation of skulls. I know it's idealistic, but I want to help people let go of their old grievances and make peace with each other. And I'll hold 1,000 meetings and talk till I'm blue in the face if that's what it takes. It's a long and arduous path you've chosen, but one well worth taking. Rest assured that I will do what I can to help you reach your destination. Thanks, Alphino. You're always there. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Alphino. The first step will be to get our representatives back in the throne room. They're a little shaken, but not one of them seemed ready to run. We're all determined to finish what we started. I will see that you're not interrupted. Alexair, you and the Scions are to stand down. Get some rest. You've earned it. What am I doing out here? Just cuz?
A fine spot to contemplate the heavens. The meeting is over. The envoys have chosen to instate a government model on Ishgard's House of Commons, a ruling body of representatives elected by the people. It's a decision, and one which signals the end of my part in all this. But I would gaze upon Girabania's stars one last time before I leave.
Hello. Nod. Double nod. Yeah. Excuse me, it takes me 10 minutes to walk over to you.
Forget something? Your Grace, there was no word.
Raubon Aldin, you are hereby dismissed as General of the Immortal Flames and relieved of your seat on the Syndicate.
But, Your Grace...
Raubon, I am no longer a child. Stay here in your homeland. Work with your brethren. Rebuild Alamigo.
You desire to stand alone. I understand, but remember what happened.
I remember full well the consequences of my naivety, and thus did I consult at length with a most trusted advisor ere I embarked upon this course.
A most trusted advisor? And what of me? Am I no longer deserving of your confidence?
Dang, Raubon.
can there be between us when you withhold the truth from me? Did you think me oblivious to the anguish in your eyes when you spoke of returning to Uldar? For years and years, we have trusted one another. Yet now you refuse to confess your heart's desire?
I love you.
Swore an oath to you that day on the sands. I pledged my sword.
And it has served me well. But in Pippin you have forged a new sword, as sharp and deadly as the blade you bequeathed him. I will show you a Sultana who can wield every weapon at her disposal, including Lolorito and his monetarist cronies. So follow your heart, please. You are home. You are free.
You gonna cry now too? Aw. Yeah.
Smile for me, Raubon. I would have this parting be a joyous one.
Thank you, Your Grace. It has been an honor to serve you and Uldar.
Tomorrow you will serve Alamigo and fight for the good of all Eorzea. Am I understood?
We'll tell him what to do.
Yes, Your Grace.
Shooting star. Load. There it is.
Thanks for shielding us from Lakshmi, you two. If you hadn't been there, the rest of us would be worshipping her by now.
Ugh. What's that?
You're kind to include me, Lise, but we both know who did most of the work. I could scarce keep track of the battle, let alone land a telling blow. No shame in admitting it. The Warrior of Light has put far better men than me in the shade.
Did I mention that I encountered the Sultana in the palace? It would seem Her Grace has come to Girabania to oversee the final stages of her relocation project.
And talk to Brabon.
General Oldin, and I directed her to the rooftop garden. I do hope you were still there.
Are you in the habit of gossiping about the affairs of royalty, Master Leveilleur?
Certainly not, Your Grace. I was merely informing my companions.
Be at ease, Alphino. 'Twas only a jest. But I must yield the floor to Raubon. He has an important announcement to make.
As of yesternight, I have been relieved of my post in the Immortal Flames and the Syndicate both.
Let's act surprised.
I shall continue my father's duties. And may I say that Tizona has never felt heavier upon my back.
would seem I am in need of employment. Mayhap one of my old acquaintances can introduce me to a mercenary company or some such.
You may be getting on in years, Father, but you'd struggle to find a band of sellswords who wouldn't snap your hand off. Your remaining hand.
Yes, the bull of Alamigo need not be put out to pasture just yet.
Your Grace has developed a wicked edge to her humor, and you, Pippin, would do well not to laugh when the future may hold the same for you.
So, does this mean you're staying?
Aye, that seems to be the way of it. I would be glad to aid you in rebuilding our nation, if you'll have me.
If, he says. Welcome home, Rauban.
Now, Kith. It would be funny if she put out her wrong hand. Oh, sorry. Oops.
Well, that was unexpected. They seem distinctly unsurprised.
Because I'm good.
Either you are more astute than I give you credit for, or I'm losing my touch. In any event, one thing is certain. Alamigo will rejoice at the homecoming of her dearest son.
Going on over? I think it's about time I headed back to Rogger's Reach. What's next for all of you? Alze will be eager to hear of recent events, so I shall join you if you've no objections. Hi, Blood. Welcome to the company. Alcazar, why don't you come along to the Reach as well, once you've said your farewells to Nanamo and the others? Farewells? On completion, you'll be able to access... Oh, interesting. I'm not going to say goodbye to anybody. Let's just go. I want to finish this quest, and then I'll finish the stream for the day. Already streamed for longer than I wanted to, but I want to finish this up. Keep forgetting I can just use the Ethernet system. Oh well. Gingerbread. Huh. Well, here we are again. Alphino has regaled me with a thrilling tale of hidden treasure troves, mid-meeting betrayals, unlikely alliances, and joyous homecomings. It would seem I missed everything. I was patrolling the palace grounds with Thancred and Y'shtola when we heard the report of a primal in the throne room. I honestly doubted my own ears. As others have said, we were lucky to have our Echo-blessed champions nearby this time, but we'll need to keep a closer eye on the Kalyana. You see that again. This whole episode has reminded me just how far apart our kinds still are. It looks like centuries of fear and mistrust really can't be washed away in a day. But someone has to make an effort at reconciliation if these conflicts are ever going to end. Naturally, a lot of people are crying out for vengeance, but I've been doing my best to calm things down. Violent reprisals will only lead to more summonings. Indeed, violence will ever beget violence, as the Empire has learned to its cost in recent times. In any case, summoning Lakshmi was the Broodmother's doing, and whoever replaces her might not be so keen on the idea. We'll just have to watch and wait. Which isn't to say we won't be putting the safety of our allies in the Vera and M tribes first. I plan to have resistance scouts keep track of the colony's movements at all times. My parents will be relieved to hear that. What are your plans for the rest of the resistance army out of interest? Are we to prepare for Imperial counterattack? That would be a question for the Resistance's newest recruit, a military commander with far more experience than me. What? The Bull of Alamigo? We call it an army, but the Resistance is really a collection of smaller independent groups. And when Conrad passed his command on to me, that authority only extended to the freedom fighters based in Ralger's Reach. He just happened to be serving as a Resistance spokesman at the time, and needed someone to take over the role while everything was in disarray, but that time has passed. When I speak with the other leaders about reforming the army under the new government, I'll be nominating Raubon as the overall commander of our forces. He has more experience than the rest of us put together, and we stand to learn a lot from him. Indeed, he is in all respects the ideal choice. Assuming he accepts the post, Alamigo will have added a formidable weapon to its arsenal. And given the progress of Nanamo's resettlement initiative, I see great cause for hope. The siege which we so carefully sowed have begun to quicken, my friends. I like that. We tend to our promises and watch as Alamigo blooms. Is that it, or is there more cinematic? Oh, more. I do give thanks to the kami that my makeshift raft withstood the fury of the seas. But their generosity ended. Without coins in our pocket for new attire, we are doomed to look like so much jetsam. Oh, woe betide the poor man in a city of rich merchants. These dango are delicious. Will you have one? More sweetbreads? I surrendered my blade to secure what few coins we have. He sold his sword. Literally. Bah, just like talking to a child. Why fate saddled me with this burden I shall never know, but I am alive, and I must return to my master's side. Come, Suyu. We shall find a ship to carry us across the Ruby Sea. What's going on with her? I know. Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace. Have you read the reports? First Dilma, then Alamigo, and Lord Xenos put to the sword. Do not believe everything you read. I hear the Viceroy was merely wounded, and that he has already returned to the capital. Naturally, the savages beat their chests and boast loudly of taking his head regardless. Nay, Lord Xenos lives? Deplorable that our own officers should be fooled by Eorzean and misinformation. Small wonder the provinces have begun rising up in rebellion. We must prepare an official and above all accurate announcement to quell these pernicious rumors. They would wage war with empty words. Let them produce the Viceroy's remains then. We shall soon put the lie to their claims. Who's that? Was that Elidibus again? What's he up to? Cool. I'm going to use this, get my little Raubon pet. I think I may have gotten a new idol from that. Yep. Raubon's left arm. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Thanks all for watching, and you guys, peace out.